Everyone, coach, whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, guys. Early evening.
Recording in progress.
Injuries real quick. The guys who didn't finish, Michael Carter, Surratt, Ashton Davis, and Owehi, they're going to be questionable for the week. We'll go day to day. I'll have more information for you guys on Wednesday. But they all have a chance to make it. So that part's encouraging.
So with Michael Robert, that's not a high ankle sprain then?
No, he's it's low. It's low. So really long doctor's explanation. I'm going to save you guys the pain.
Robert, how do you guys build off of what you did offensively yesterday?
You go back to the drawing board and hit the reset button, and you rebuild and get yourself ready to play another game on Sunday. We got a great opponent that we're going to go visit, and they're vying for their number one seed, and they've got championship thoughts on their mind, and so we've got a great challenge on our hands. But for us, we just got to stay in the moment, focus on us, and just like you dig on the tape when you lose to find ways to get better, you got to do the same digging when you win and find ways to continue to get better. So confident group, we just got to continue to keep that confidence and continue to prepare the way we know how.
Robert, after you the film on Mike, reviewed the film on Mike, I mean, did anything else stand out from what you said to us yesterday upon further review?
No, exactly like we thought. I mean, you could see it in live. There's really a lot of cool plays that go unnoticed, from throwing hot to CJU and him drop stepping, getting vertical, just a lot of efficiency all the way across the board, not just from Mike, but receivers running really crisp routes. The alignments were really good. After catch was fantastic. And, protection was really good. So just a really good, efficient day from our offense. And then obviously Mike did such a really nice job getting rid of the ball fast, which offensive linemen appreciate. Subtle movements in the pocket. He did a really, really good job yesterday. So
has Mike's performance caused you to perhaps reconsider the quarterback plan that you outlined for us on Wednesday, the one where you said, you fully intend to get Zach back on the field this year?
No, it's like I said, we're going to go week to week. There's things that we'd love to see Zach accomplish over the course of we'll call it a reset, but and this is Mike White's opportunity. That doesn't change. So Mike's got an opportunity to go stack another great day up this week. And when we feel like Zach is ready to roll, he's going to roll.
Is there a situation, Robert, where Mike over these next couple of games, whether it's 2 games, whether it's 3 games, can stack enough games together where you'd say, you know what, we're sticking with Mike through thick and thin the rest of the year?
You're going to hate me for this one, Connor, but we're going to focus on this one. No hypotheticals, but I do appreciate the question.
Robert, what did you see from Mike? We saw training camp, right? And he wasn't overwhelming in training camp. You guys went with Flacco when Zach went down. It was pretty clear cut. There wasn't a lot of debate there. What did you see from kind of the end of camp till maybe a few weeks ago when you moved him to number 2 from Mike that gave you confidence in him?
No, that's a really good question, Kaz, because he started off slow in camp. He did. No, I think he'll be the first to admit that he was a little bit off to start camp. And there was God, I can't pinpoint it, where I feel like there was a great conversation with Mike where something just in terms of what we need to get done out of him. And I think that Giants preseason game, he had a really, really good showing in that Giants preseason game that allowed the regain the confidence and all that. And then obviously just continuing to work and catch back up to make up ground for the slow start in training camp. And it's just been stacking it up, going against our show team, going against our defense, all that stuff. And thought he's really put together a lot of great weeks. And we feel like he's back to, we felt like about a month and a half ago that he was back to what we felt like we had at the end of last season. and which is why we elevated him to 2, just to make that decision that we were going to give him the next opportunity to see what we had in the event Zach got hurt at the time. Obviously, it's presenting itself in a different manner now, but pumped for him and his opportunity, and he took advantage of it yesterday, and we're looking forward to him taking advantage of it again.
Robert, there was a joy in your team's play yesterday. Do you think something has to do with Mike's attitude, and is there something infectious that he brings to the table in that regard?
One, everyone loves Mike. I think everyone in the locker room really has a genuine appreciation for each other. But I think when you're having success and it's rolling and it's crap weather and it's raining and it's fun. Football's fun. It's supposed to be fun. And when you're having success, it is fun. And when you're just everything you do is going to end up in success. There's a clip of just watching tape of our 2 tight ends practically chest bumping after a run because they blocked. Guys are playing selfless football, and when everyone's playing selfless, and I always say when you give with no intent to receive, comes back twofold. And just guys are really playing for one another. And I don't want to take away from Mike's infectious personality, because it is, but I think guys, it's not just the quarterback position. I think in all 3 phases, the guys are playing for one another and having fun playing with one another.
Robert, last year when Mike played against Cincinnati, he had that great game. Then Indy, he kind of got washed out because of the injury. But Buffalo went to kind of, I don't know what they did, but they neutralized him. How do you avoid this year? Because yesterday felt like Cincinnati again, right? Like he had a big game. Coaches are going to go to work on him and try to take away what he's doing well. How do you kind of maintain this year versus last year where it fizzled out pretty quickly?
It's gonna be a good. That is a good question, and that's where these opportunities will present itself. I think we're better equipped on defense to allow us to not have to force and push the ball downfield the way we had to last year against Buffalo. I think it was 17-3 at halftime, and then 24-3 after their first drive, and then we turned the ball over 3 consecutive drives. And that's us trying to be aggressive to get the ball downfield. So I think our run game affords us the opportunity to continue to play in the manner that we do. But he'll get those opportunities, and he's going to continue to get opportunities until we see fit. But we'll see.
Hey, Robert, can you just talk about the running back situation and what kind of spark that Bam Knight brought you yesterday for a guy that really hadn't played before, came in and looked like he did a good job, and also getting into, again, what he has maybe that James doesn't have yet, being fairly new to the scheme? No,
for sure. I think everyone saw Bam had some fresh legs. He was juicy as a runner, getting north and south. Read somewhere that he broke a Jets record for total yards in a debut, which was pretty cool for him. But he gets north and south quick, so he's a one-cut runner, which is kind of the staple of this of our scheme. And he played fast, he played physical. He was a lot of effort to gain yards and after contact. But the big time, the thing for Bam, and it's not to compare, everyone's got their own unique running style, but Bam just getting north and south quick. They're NFL runs where the O-line blocks it for 2, but you grind for 4, and with James's story is not over. Obviously I said that after our game. It's just a matter of getting north and south, and not every run's going to be perfect. Not every run's going to go to the house, and just sticking his foot in the ground and getting vertical as quickly as possible and exploding through the line of scrimmage.
Robert, what's the situation at right tackle? I take it you didn't intend to have Max play yesterday. It was emergency, and then Cedric went down. And then where is George and his recovery?
George looks good. The intent was to give Max 1 more week. Obviously, it came in a little bit earlier. So for Max, he's back where he belongs, and then we'll see with George this week. We'll take it all the way through and just see how he performs this week. George is excited. I love his attitude right now. He feels good. He's saying all the right things. He's preparing the right way, and so excited to see how he improves this week from last week.
Robert, do you embrace the challenge of these final 6 bowl games, including 4 stiff road tests?
Why wouldn't you? Right. But the biggest thing, we acknowledge, right? That's a big thing. I said it before. You acknowledge the fact that we've got a chance to play some cool games, but and we acknowledge the opportunity that we have, but the opportunity doesn't exist if we focus on our moment. And our moment is today to take care of to put yesterday to bed. Our opportunities our moments tomorrow, and just preparing for Minnesota and players taking care of their bodies, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and so you got to focus on the process. If you're busy counting wins and looking at things you have zero control over, you're missing on the opportunities to focus on the things you got control over. So while we acknowledge our opportunity, hopefully we recognize that opportunity won't exist if we're not taking care of our jobs.
Take a few more for Coach. A few more.
The company line back going into the season was, the goal is to be playing meaningful games in December. Well, you are pretty meaningful games here in December. So does that feel like an accomplishment? And then what next? Like, how do you raise the bar from that?
That's a good one, Rich. I feel like that's an end of season conversation, but no, it's good. Like I said, it's great to be where we are. We expected to have a competitive football team. But at the same time, we haven't accomplished anything. There's still 6 games left. There's still a lot of football to be had. We've got 6 really good opponents that we get to go play, and the first one being Minnesota. And I always say there's only one team happy at the end of the year, and the focus is you just got to focus on your moment. And it's awesome to be where we are right now. Like we said, playing meaningful games. It's fun. It gives you purpose. It allows you to play for something more than just a paycheck, but at the same time, we just got to focus on our moment.
Robert, I'm curious with Zach. He's now off working with Mike, Rob, doing his thing. How often do you need to check in with him and kind of just take his temperature? How much are you kind of just having conversations with him about working through this?
Well, I'm because he's running he's running our show team now with the defense. We're get an opportunity to talk to him all the time, and just want to stay involved and just make sure coaches are debriefing every day to make sure that everything he's checking boxes that we're trying to get checked. But it's not just go off and work on your own. It's all hands on deck, and we're just trying to do everything we can to help him get check the boxes that we need checked to move forward.
Robert, was there
Last one here.
Okay, then a 2-parter. The first part is like we keep talking obviously about Zach's working off to the side. It's his system reset, right? Just to clarify, is his potential reinsertion into the starting lineup, is that based on whenever Zach Wilson is ready, or is it now kind of Mike White's job to lose in a sense? And then the second part of it, kind of following up on what Rich had said, the goal was obviously meaningful games down the stretch, but what you guys have done has exceeded expectations even to that, where there's, it's not even just like playing the math game to find you guys into the playoffs. I mean, there's a direct path for you guys there. And if anything, you guys kind of control your own destiny. At what point this season did you kind of realize that the youngsters that you were relying on had developed at a rate that was maybe a little bit faster than even you guys expected? And certainly I think most other people expected.
Okay. So first question. We're operating with exactly what I talked about last week in my press conference. It's a week-to-week deal. The full intent is to get Zach ready to play football again. I'll make that decision when I'm ready. And while we're going through this process, it's Mike White's opportunity to take advantage of every last play that he gets. And we're going to leave it at that. We'll figure it out as we go. As far as when we knew, I'd say training camp. A lot of confidence for us going into the season. We talked about our rookies. First off, all the young guys that were forced to play last year, right? And the amount of growth that they had from year 1 to year 2. And then you just watch the rookies. Usually a rookie comes in his first game, he's just bug-eyed, right? The game is way too big. They're misaligning. They're making mistakes. They're throwing away all the work that they put in through OTAs and training camp because it's just they're in survival mode. And what you saw instead was, and at the time now Brees is hurt, but Brees and Garrett and Jermaine, and you got Michael Clemens and Max Mitchell jumps in there, and Ahmad Gardner, like they're just, it's not too big for them. They're stepping up. They're playing high levels of football. They're getting better week to week. And you just knew in training camp that it wasn't going to be too big for them. And it translated in the football where they're just making, or the season where they're making an instant impact. And when you have a young team, and I know it didn't look good the first week, it just felt coming away from the game, I was like, damn, that was way closer than people think. We're going to get better pretty quick. And I think we all felt that as an entire organization. And, to the group's credit, they worked their tails off, and you guys see it on the field and on tape. They're having so much fun playing with one another. And they work relentlessly day in and day out. And so it's been good. It's been good. And hopefully we continue to get better.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes today's availability.
Recording stop.